This little boy lived in a place no one wanted to look at. He walked barefoot on muddy streets, collecting empty bottles in a torn plastic bag. His name was Daniel. He was only 9. One morning, he walked into his house, a tiny wooden room with a leaking roof, and found his mother coughing again. "You're burning up, Mama," he said, placing a wet cloth on her forehead. "I'll be fine," she whispered, struggling to breathe. "But you? Have you eaten?" Daniel shook his head and forced a smile. "I'll find something today, don't worry." She placed a weak hand on his cheek. "You always say that." He nodded. "Because I mean it." And then he left. He walked for hours trying to trade bottles for food. He approached a shopkeeper and said, "Sir, please, anything for these bottles? My mother is very sick." The man looked at him and replied coldly, "Didn't I tell you yesterday? Scram, boy." Daniel looked down and walked away. At the next stall, he asked again, "Please, ma'am, I'll do anything. Just a slice of bread." But she only said, "Get away from my shop, go beg somewhere else." He passed by a schoolyard and watched children laughing, their uniforms clean and bright. He said nothing. He just stared at them, wishing he could join. Then a boy pointed at him and laughed. "Look, it's that garbage kid again." Another joined in. "He smells like a trash can." Daniel walked away, his eyes wet, but his face calm. He was used to it. Later that evening, it rained. Daniel stood outside a bakery, soaked to the bone, watching warm bread come out of the oven through the glass window. His stomach growled, but he didn't move. He whispered to himself, "Just one bite, please." Then a voice behind him said, "Are you hungry?" He turned around quickly and saw an old woman, standing with an umbrella, wearing a brown coat and gentle eyes. I'm not stealing, ma'am," Daniel said quickly. "I was just looking," she smiled. "I didn't say you were. I asked if you're hungry." He nodded shyly. "Come with me," she said. "Let's get you something warm." He hesitated, then followed. They entered her small house down the street. She gave him a towel and said, "Dry yourself." Then she handed him a sandwich and hot tea. "Eat slowly," she said. "You've been in the rain for hours." Daniel stared at the food for a moment, then said softly, "Thank you." "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel." "And where do you live, Daniel?" "In the slum. Just me and my mama. She's sick. I try to help, but it's hard." She nodded gently. "Well, my name is Mrs. Wilson," she said, "and I think you're a very brave boy." From that night on, everything changed. Every evening, Daniel returned to Mrs. Wilson's house. She would give him food, a blanket, a smile. One day, she handed him a small box of old books. "These belong to my son," she said. "He passed many years ago, but I think he would want you to have them." Daniel's eyes lit up. "Thank you, ma'am." She chuckled. "Call me Grandma Wilson." At night, Daniel would read beside his mother's bed by candlelight. By day, he returned to school, and this time, he started to excel. Years passed. He grew taller, sharper, stronger. One day, he rushed into Mrs. Wilson's living room, holding a letter. "I got it!" he shouted. "A scholarship! Full ride to college!" Mrs. Wilson covered her mouth with her hand, tears welling up. "I knew you could do it," she said. "I've always known." He hugged her tightly. After college, Daniel built something bigger than himself. He started an organization to help kids just like him. Poor, forgotten, hungry. He built homes, he gave scholarships, he trained teachers, and every weekend, he still visited Grandma Wilson. One day, during a live interview, a reporter asked him, "You've helped thousands. What made you want to do all this?" Daniel smiled and said, "When I was 9, I was invisible. No one saw me until one woman gave me a sandwich and a chance. Her name was Mrs. Wilson. A few months later, he brought her to a new house, a beautiful home with children playing outside and books on every shelf. Above the entrance, a golden sign read, 'Wilson's Home, where kindness lives.' This is for you," Daniel said, wheeling her to the front door. "You saved me, and I want to spend the rest of my life saving others like you saved me." Mrs. Wilson smiled, her eyes glistening with tears. "You always had it in you," she said. "I just gave you a meal. You gave the world a legacy." Inside the house, children laughed. Volunteers served food. Hope lived there. And on the wall, in a small frame, hung a photo of a 9-year-old boy and an old woman sitting in a kitchen, sharing a meal. Because one act of kindness had changed everything.